Good evening. It's Wednesday, October 16, 2019 here in Cebu City. I'm Cherry Ann Lim, and here's all you need to know in NewsBits tonight. A day after their services were terminated, the chairman of the board of directors of MCWD said they did not cause Cebu's water crisis. Instead, he pointed out the growing gap between water supply and demand brought by Cebu's growth. The board chairman added that weak government and politics did nothing to solve the crisis. Here's Nico Tubo for the details.
A day after Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella terminated the services of the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Cebu Water District, its chairman Joel Mariu has explained its side. In his letter, Yu admitted that there is a water crisis in Cebu. However, he clarified that it's not the board that caused it. He pointed out the growing gap between the demand and supply brought about by Cebu's growth as the reason behind it, adding that the crisis has been brewing for the past 30 years, but weak government and politics did nothing to solve it. Yu said amid the massive investments in housing, office facilities, condominiums, subdivisions, and malls, no one has asked where to source the water. The board's chair also said that nobody did anything with the experts' advice in the mid-70s about tapping surface water sources through dams. Yu added that when he assumed the chairmanship, he put the Mananga Dam and a desalination plant into the motion, and these are now ready to bid. He lamented that they got fired despite their efforts and being barely 2 years in office. The MCWD said in a statement that its operations are going as usual. The water firm clarified that the board is not part of its day-to-day operations as it is a policy-making body setting direction for major programs like expansion and sourcing. The MCWD assured the public that it will continue to serve its consumers, especially those affected by the water supply shortage. Nico Tubo, NewsBits Tonight.
Even after the DILG directed local government units to allow the distribution and sale of processed pork meat products, Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia is determined to keep all measures in effect to ensure Cebu remains African swine fever free. Here's Kenneth Torres for the details.
Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia is standing pat on her directive to temporarily ban for 100 days the entry of live hogs, pork-related products, and byproducts from Luzon into the province. This is despite the Department of Interior and local government directing local government units to allow the distribution and sale of processed pork meat products subject to certain conditions. An advisory posted on the DILG's website dated October 16 stated that a memorandum circular dated October 16 was issued to governors, city and municipal mayors, and barangay captains to strictly adhere to specific guidelines on the movement, distribution, and sale of the processed meat products in the country. Under the guidelines, meat products containing pork should be heat-treated or fully cooked according to internationally accepted standards adopted by the Philippine Association of Meat Processors Incorporated. The memorandum aims to protect the consumers and stakeholders in the meat industry from disruption in the flow of trade and commerce across the country. Garcia, however, said all measures to ensure that Cebu remains ASF-free will remain in effect. The governor has already issued 5 executive orders laying preventive measures to protect Cebu's hog industry and top meat source against ASF virus. Meanwhile, Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura has asked the DILG not to lift the ban imposed on processed pork products. The group is also asking the Agriculture Department to test all frozen meat in cold storage facilities through an independent third party as it claimed incidences of confirmed contamination of processed pork that entered the country. Kenneth Torres, NewsBits Tonight.
More stories in NewsBits Tonight after this short break. A person of interest in the brutal slaying of a 14-year-old girl in Pinamungahan Town, Cebu, is now under police custody. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
Police now have in their custody a person of interest in the killing of a 14-year-old girl in Pinamungahan. The body of Justine Andayop was found meters away from their house in Sitio Caimito in Barangay Gimbawian Monday afternoon after she was reported missing on the same day. According to Pinamungahan Police Chief Felicissimo Aranas Jr., a 26-year-old man was arrested in his mother's house in Barangay Lahug in Cebu City. The man is now under police custody in Pinamungahan. The person of interest, however, denied allegations against him and said he does not know Justin personally. He admitted, though, that they are neighbors. Aranas clarified that until pieces of evidence are gathered, the man will remain a person of interest and not a suspect. The authorities also seized some of the man's things, including his clothes with stains believed to be blood. Meanwhile, medical legal officer of the PNP Crime Laboratory, Benjamin Lara, said he already got a specimen from the victim's genitalia to examine if the girl was raped. Chari Coronel, NewsBits Tonight.
For the latest in sports, here's Kenneth Torres.
The Philippine men's football team, Azkals, held the top-seeded China to a scoreless draw in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers Tuesday night at the Panaad Park and Stadium, Bacolod City. Coming out with a tight defense plan, Azkals defended well every single outfield player in their own half. Both teams had the same approach of the game in the second half, as China upped the pressure to search for a breakthrough goal. The Azkals continued to remain steadfast despite the forced substitution of Michael Baas and Carly De Murga due to injury. Azkals replaced the two ailing defenders with Amani Aguinaldo and Luke Woodland to aid the backline defense. Neil Etheridge was then forced into a reaction save after a hard strike from China's captain Hao Junmin. Azkals coach Scott Cooper and Etheridge said they are satisfied with the result and pleased with the performance, insisting that they wanted a win. Azkals will continue their campaign against Maldives on November 14. Kenneth Torres, NewsBits Tonight.
To get the latest, visit www.sunstar.com.ph. Follow us on our YouTube channel and official social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Cherry Ann Lim. Good evening.